Hola chulas, if you hear noise down here, me and Bella, we in here. And what? She having a good old time. She finally figured out how to play with her little thing. She's enjoying it. I love how she figured that out right now. But it was funny. Anyways, okay, so sorry, I just twisted my hair. I just moisturized it and twisted it down. Hope I don't go crazy, but I guess we're gonna find out if I'm able ever to edit my videos, but whatever. So I just want to come on here real quick and give a quick testimony. I guess. I don't really know. I mean, yeah, it is. But it's not for my current situation because, you know, you guys seen the whole eviction video, all that good stuff. So, that is, we're waiting on that. See how that turns out. But I'm just going to sit down. I decided to just record and put as much of this out as I can, possibly. I'm sorry, I'm so distracted. I'm sitting in front of the window because the lighting is great, but like we got cars coming down. Anyway, so I really hope that you guys can hear me and kind of can disregard that little baby playing. I might have to just pick her up in a minute. And we might just have to call it, you know, what it is. But I mean, we might just have to let it do what it do. So anyways, I'm gonna just speak up and that way you guys can hear me. So divorce is not a fun word, but it is a word that I have been hearing a lot lately, as in this past year, 2022, 2021, 2020, like pretty much my whole life. But I feel like the older I've gotten, the more I've become more aware of it, or I've just paid attention when I, you know, heard it or whatever. So I'm a product of divorce. My mom was with my biological father, and that didn't work out. And me and my older brother were products of that marriage. And so I don't know, like I realize now that I need to probably make a video about wanting to like reconnect with my birth dad, and because he was in my life up until a certain point and I don't really know what happened, but I realized that grown-ups have their stuff and then the kids are kind of affected. And so anyways, I like just really didn't want that, right? Like I just did not want that. Like I didn't want that for my own children. And I was raised by my stepdad. Thank God he was in my life because he's, you know, just awesome and just loved us as his own. And, you know, he was just there for me for everything. And, but, you know, I just was like, when I grow up, I want to meet a man and get married and have kids. Like that was one of my goals. Have a family. And that was one of my goals. And it wasn't one of my like first goals. Like I was like, I want a family, but like not yet. Hey mama, you went too far up? Come on. Okay, you good? Okay. All right. She's probably gonna be like over this in just a minute, but we're gonna just go. So let me focus. Divorce. So I did not want a divorce. I did not want a divorce. I did not want a divorce, but I had one. I keep forgetting like my age. I'm like, dang, like this is what it feels like to get old. So I am 34 and we're in 2022. So let me go back. 2015? How old was I in 2015? How old was I in 2014? Oh my gosh, y'all. It's about to be 2023 in like a week. 2023. If this happened, if this started in 2014, really 2013. Okay, so let's just rewind back 10 years. Let's do that. Let's rewind back 10 years. Because I'm all over my head here, and I realized I can, like, since I'm doing it on my camera, I can edit this out. I mean, like, whatever. If I decide to go left and I'm like, ooh, that won't it. So anyways, I'm gonna just put it out. So rewinding back 20, this sound may be too much. I probably should just like stop and like listen and see if my little boo thing having a good time is just like killing this video or not. But I'm gonna go anyways. I'm just gonna keep going. So rewind back 10 years. Let's just go back. If I am 34, we're gonna go back to 24-year-old me. So 24-year-old me in 2013, I was actually maybe possibly before I was 24. I was probably 23. Yeah, 23. So let's go back to 23 and me. I want to do that one day. Okay, I'm focusing. So 23-year-old me, I was just getting back from overseas. I was back in school after being doing like a study abroad program, and I came back and I met a guy in one of my classes, and mind you, I came back for Jesus, like on fire for Jesus. Like, I don't know what I've been doing in my life, but what I ain't doing is that nonsense no more. That was my mindset, just so that you guys know. Like, still not delivered for some things, you know. God was still working on me. He still lives to this day. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. But anyways, so but my mind was like, I am doing this, Jesus. Me and you, it's me and you. It's me and you. What I'm not doing is all that foolery out in these streets where I had been for the last, few years or whatnot. We had like a mutual like belief system. We both believed in God. We're both serious about that. Like, weren't playing games. Here, baby. Are you warning? This is a new thing that she's doing. It's like, I'm like, are you boo-booing? But she's like, no, I don't have to boo-boo. I'm like, oh, okay. I think it's a warning though. I think she's warning me. You know what, Ma? I'm trying real hard not to cut up, but I'm real close to acting a fool. But you holding kids up? Hey, baby. Are you sheepy? Is mommy sweet sleepy? You're grunting. Okay. So I was gonna say, where's that? So yeah, he was great. He was a great boyfriend. But he's a great boyfriend because, like, yeah, he just we did everything together. And there were a few things that were like red flags, like a little questionable. Why this is bringing me to why I'm doing this video today is, one, I was supposed to have done this like years and years ago, and I didn't, and so I'm doing it now. And I think her channel is Love Anna Michelle, or Michelle Anna. I don't know. Michelle, I've been following you for like years, if you end up watching this video, for years. I think I seen your video from, where did I see your video from? I think the first video I saw of yours was when your husband passed away. I've just been kind of following you like on and off since. I mean, I'm not like faithful. You post something and I'm there. I'm not gonna be a liar, but I have watched your stuff and enjoyed your journey, and enjoyed you sharing your faith and like just your life and everything like that. So what had happened was I was struggling to be obedient, which I have been doing lately, but I've been taking steps to just do stuff even when, like, without even having time to think. That was like that video with the eviction video the other day. Hold on, baby. I think I'm just gonna have to get her. Yep, gonna get her. Because you're not gonna calm down, are you? Nope, you're not. Because you don't have to. Okay. Got you on here looking wild. You wanna say hey? Right there. Camera's over there. Over there. Hey. Say hey, Val. Check out my Christmas stuff. I mean, it's kind of Christmassy because it's red. Say hey. Belle. 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 Hey. I think she's sleepy. We're gonna see. Give it. Yep. Okay. Nope. Okay. We're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it. So, where's that? So what was I saying? 2013. So he was great. He's great. We're gonna call him my ex-fiance. So he was great. There was definitely some red flags. Oh, that's where I was at. So sorry. The whole reason that I was doing this video is because I've been going back and forth, and then I get on YouTube, and then Anna Michelle, I don't remember. Michelle's video pops up, and I'm like, and it's about her husband being gay, and which crossed my mind at some point, but I was like, no judgment. Hey Boogie. Hey Boogie. And so I was like, not gonna click on the video, right? Because it took me back to my past. And I was like, but I did. I clicked off of it and then clicked it on accident. I was like, okay, Jesus. And I watched it. And it blessed me because she was so vulnerable and so transparent. And like on YouTube of all places, right? And she had said how like God was like had just been like calling her to like share. And I was like, oh God, I'm not the only one that you are harassing about sharing your story for the other people, because we don't just go to things for ourselves. And he was like, nope, you ain't the only one. And I was like, oh. And so she was like sharing or whatever, and she was like, she basically like shared, you know, a little bit about her story. And when I saw that, I just kind of like thought about mine. I'm like, ooh. And so here I am sharing because, you know, she gave me the courage to just do it, stop overthinking it. And so I decided I should probably share my story because if God is having me do it, it is not for no reason, you know. It's probably to help somebody else. So yeah, so here it goes. So I was fresh back from overseas. I was back in school. I was like trying to adjust to life back at home, and just like there's a whole transition period, but I was like going through that. And then I met my ex fiance, and we were in the same major in class together and stuff, and like it was really great. And he ended up being the best boyfriend I ever had because he was just great. He was great. But there were so many red flags, and that I kind of like overlooked. And I think a few of those were that I questioned his sexuality, and other people did too. And he kind of just was like, yeah, people have been kind of like asking me about it like my whole life. And a little crazy here. And get that from your mama. And so he was kind of offended by the question when I brought it up. And I was like, okay, I'll never do that again. And I just kind of swallowed it. Never mind the fact that he kind of maybe possibly was like using me as like his little like real life baby doll. I don't know. And like, hey, you ever try to wig or weave or whatever? Just try it. And you like getting your nails done? Yeah, let's go take you to get your nails done. Do you like this shade or that shade? I'm like, what? Let's go buy you some makeup. Okay. And granted, this sounds real like, were you busted? Were you busted and he was trying to help you out? No. I mean, was I? I'm just kidding. No, I was not. Like, I was like who I am today. I'm just a little bit older. And I remember like he would help me with like the shades of like lipsticks and different swatches and like nail polish, and like we went shopping, and like I think he enjoyed it more than I did. And like there were just like other things I was like, I mean, this is cool. It's different, but it's cool. And like, I think you should wear these heels with this and that. And like some guys are like fashionable, you know, and they're just like into that kind of stuff. So I was like, I never dated a guy like that. Wasn't really my type, but I was like, you know, whatever. And then like, you know, you notice different things. Hey baby. You notice different things like them liking different pictures on the Facebook, and a lot of the pictures are like questionable. Like, why are you liking a picture with of the other guy with the big muscles, with the water on the muscles to make it look extra sexy, and posiblemente like in a speedo, you know, just like there's just like oh, like this picture looks is questionable, and for another male to like it is too. And he was like, oh no, it's my friend, I was just being supportive. And I was like, okay. I don't know, but yeah, when I questioned him about his sexuality, like where we were dating, I remember and like kind of getting serious, I was like, I didn't think, I mean, people were like, I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. Like, really? You're questioning my whole life. But it wasn't like it was like it struck a nerve. And yeah, anyway, so moving on. I ultimately think that that is why we did not work out, because he liked demands. But we'll talk about that in a video. I do want to say real quick though, for anybody watching this that might possibly be engaged to be married, or yeah, period, right, or dating someone that they're wanting to marry, thinking about it, and it could be like a thing down the road, to just pay attention to the red flags. Like, please pay attention to the red flags. And another thing that I noticed in this relationship, especially as we got engaged and like started to plan our wedding, that I didn't want, is that if you notice that hey Bill, now you found the camera. If you notice that you guys are planning for something together and what you want and what he want are complete polar opposites, there's an issue. And like, granted, okay, you're probably not going to want the same thing, but you're usually in the same area, right? So when one of you guys is like, let's I'm just gonna be like, I'm trying to be extra and like exaggerate this. If one of you guys are like, you know what, let's go to the mountains. Let's go to the mountains. Let's just find like a cleared patch or whatever, like in the beauty of all God's creations, and let's get married. And let's not wear shoes, and let's not have fancy clothes. Let's just kind of like be really like simple, and like no bridesmaids and stuff. And like this is the idea that I have, and it's just really like a natural, like nature type, free spirited type of super chill wedding. And the other person is like, nah, let's have like a big grand opening. Let's find like the biggest venue ever. Let's come in on a chariot and like what? And let's invite celebrities, and let's rent out the most expensive Bugatti to pull up in. Let's be really flashy and loud, and let's spend, and there's no way we can spend any less than $20,000. There's an issue. And that's not just like a small issue. And I don't know, but I don't believe that that's like something that just you realize in that moment, in that conversation, was an issue. Like, when you're dating someone, you're spending time with them, you're hanging out with them, you know their conversation, you know how they think, you know, may not know why they feel like they do, but you know, like you know what they want. And so you either pretend to be okay with it up until now, or that conversation, or you know, something. So just yeah, I'm gonna just leave that there. So that was an engagement. That engagement ended shortly thereafter. Shortly after he proposed, there was no more. And so I remember wondering I think he's gay. And then I remember I think my mom had asked me something, and probably about that picture that I was already feeling some kind of way about. And somebody else might have noticed something and called her or said something to her, and she asked me, and I remember being like I know. And I think I probably got mad at her, why would you even know? And I was already struggling, or had been at some point, and was probably trying to suppress it. Not the thing to do. So then I graduated, finished the program, graduated. That was terrible. Because we graduated together and we had another class together. We had set up beforehand, so we broke up and then had that next a few weeks later we had to sit in class together all semester. It was terribly awkward. God, I hated that. Not go back to that time for anything. And so then all of my classmates were looking at him and looking at me I'm pretty sure y'all were together. And y'all weren't just together, y'all were engaged. Our department is very small. Everybody knew it. Everybody knows you, everybody knows him. That was awkward. So just, dating in college, think about it, think about it. And that slim chance things don't work out. That was, God, that was awful. So thank you, Lord, for getting me through that time. So that happened. And then I was single for a year. And then I was got a job working at a school. I loved it. And ended up meeting this guy. I was not interested at all. Yeah, in wall. And everybody was just oh, hey, so-and-so likes you. Oh, this guy likes you. And I'm like, how old are we? No, I'm good. And that kind of went on for a couple of months. And I feel one day he came up and introduced himself to me. And I was wow, no one's ever done that before. I mean, not come up and introduce themselves, but not in a scene or a setting that was not the thing. I was wow, you're bold, right? You were bold. Oh, was he? So looking back, I'm girl, if I could go back, I'd be run. You know that first inkling when you were yeah, no, no, listen to that. Did I scare you? I think I scared him, huh? He's okay. He's okay. Are you sheepy? Yeah, go to sheep. Let mom tell the story. Let mom tell the story that she's been holding for about 50 years. Okay. So basically, he came and introduced himself or whatever, and then we started. Did he give me his number? Give me his number. I get my number. I don't remember how we exchanged number because we didn't do it that day. What, baby? We did not do it that day. Are you hungry? You kept spitting up and burping, and I feel are you hungry? I can't. Is that what you want? Oh yes, it is. Okay, good. So. What was I saying? So he came and introduced himself to me, and in front of everyone, and I was and I don't know how, but we ended up dating. I mean, I don't remember any conversation or anything like that after that. This time, y'all, have y'all ever been through anything traumatic or yeah, in your life? It's true. You kind of low-key black out. I have, this is my first time talking about this since in 7 years. And I just decided to turn on the camera and just put it all out there in case it helps somebody, because I feel it will. because I know that I'm not the only person that has done this, been in this situation, or done something similar to this, or just being this stupid. And I really just like want to help like some other true lies that are out there. Like, don't be as naive as I was, and don't be stupid, because it gets you really, really hurt in the end. So what happened? So we ended up dating, and like maybe like a couple weeks later, and we just started like, you know, hanging out, going on dates, stuff like that. Very shortly thereafter, that like first meeting or whatever, we like went on dates and everything was fine. And then I forget how, but we became intimate. And I remember like not wanting that, but like I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're like, you're doing something that like you don't really want to do. That was very familiar. We're not even gonna go there right now. But it was just, I didn't like it. But I stayed because I was like, what in the world? And the more we dated, I mean, the more time that went by, and I mean, this was like a short amount of time. The more time that went by, we, I ain't gonna say I felt like I was like starting to like lose myself, but I felt like I was sinning. Have you ever like sinned and like you kind of get lost in the sin and you're like you feel like you're losing yourself and you're like, this is not who I am. This is not what I stand for anymore. You know, like, and being like, we can't keep doing this. Like, this is not going to work. Like this is supposed to be safe for marriage, blah, blah, blah. Like what's going on? And so, I remember he was like, yeah, you know, I'm sorry, da, da, da. And he was supposed to be like a minister, and like, it makes me want to throw up. I think I just vomited in my throat. And I was like, I remember when I found out, I was like, ooh, I ain't never want to be like, I want to be the preacher's wife. I want to be a preacher's. Like, that was not my thing. And I know that there are women that are out there that are like, that's what I desire. And that is fine. But it ain't what I wanted. Not even a little bit. I mean, like, I wanted a man after God's own heart. And like, you know, you're serious about your relationship with him. But like, I ain't never wanted a pastor. So, I'm gonna keep that to myself. If my cousins are watching this, you're gonna laugh. Hey Keisha. Hey Cora. Anyways, so I need help. So that happened, and like we went from like dating to like engaged like 3 months later. So stupid. So like married 6 months later. Like, why? What was the rush? In my little head, I think looking back over, I'm like, what were you thinking? Like, what were you doing? I think I was like, oh, you're sinning, and to fix this you need to get married. Mistake number one. But I think that was like the biggest thing. I think the second part was like everybody was like getting married and having kids, and like I was like, everybody's got children, and like, and I was like, I feel old. 24. I was 24 at this time. 24, 25 years old. No, 23 happened, 24, 25. I was 26. I was like, 26? And I just, mind you, like a year and some change before had been engaged. Like I dated a guy for a year, and like we got engaged, and we were like engaged for a couple of months, and then we broke up. And then I think like a whole year and some change went by, and then I meet this guy. And he was just like, while we were dating, like minus the stuff in the dark, right? Like all that, like just feeling bad about it over and over again. He was, what am I trying to say? In front of everyone and everything, like people were like, oh my gosh, he's so in love with you. Like he's such a gentleman, and he da 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 da, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, he was narcissistic, but we'll talk about that another. But he was like, he would do all of this stuff, like these grandiose gestures, and just would be like a perfect gentleman in front of everyone. And so like all the women were like, oh my gosh, like he's just great. All the women in my life and at church and everything, people just loved him because he was like super charismatic. And I mean, at the time I think I thought he was handsome. Looking back, I'm like, anyways, yeah, so we got married, and I remember, I don't think it was not even a week later. What's going on? Belle, did you scratch your face, mommy? Bella. A few months later, a few weeks later we started dating. A few months later we got engaged. A few months later we were married in less than a year. I remember praying on my on my knees, like pleading with God to get me out of this situation that I got myself into. And I was just like, God, please, like, please, God, please, if you get me out of this situation, I will not ever do this again. I will not ever step and like make a decision so big without like consulting you, and you know. And so fast forward 8 months, I was like 7-8 months later, I was like, we started going through some things, and I was like, what in the world is going on? Long story short, we got in an argument. He left and like came back like an hour or two later, and it was like late, and I was like, please don't ever do that again. And you're not like sitting in your car in our apartment complex like cooling down. You like left. And I was like, you know, I was like, we can't, like, that's something like we just can't do. And he's like, okay. And I was like, you cannot do that again. Like, you promised. He was like, okay. And like, we got an argument like maybe 2-3 weeks later. And like, he did the same thing, except he stayed gone for like 3 or 4 hours. And I remember being like something, I just felt like, oh, I went to sleep because I was thinking he's going to come back, whatever. Like he said he wouldn't do that. You know, I'm pissed off. So I'm like, I'm just going to go to sleep. So I wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, like just woke up, my eyes open. You okay? Oh, fake coughing? Okay. Hey, honey. And something woke me up and was like, go in the living room. And I was like, then I saw that he wasn't there. And I think I called him, like he wasn't answering. And it was like we got an argument like around 10:30 at night. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, what? So I think I might have called him. I don't remember if he answered or not. And then he came home, and I remember being like, something's up, right? So I remember like checking the phone records and like seeing that he had called somebody and they were on the phone for a second, and it was like, I saw the same number. So anyways, long story short, he went to some lady's house, and I think I like pretended to know like later on, and he like confessed to it or whatever, or something crazy, or like wasn't going to confess. Let's be honest, because he was like one of them people like, I'm gonna take this lie to the grave. And I was like, wow. But I remember one day he was home, and he must have been doing something sketchy, and I think I called the number back or something. He said it was like one of the parents, and like the lady like hung up on me, and I was like, what's going on? And then he was cheating with this lady. That's where he was going. We had gotten, you know, had disagreements or whatever. And then, apparently this is the same lady he had been cheating on, like in his first marriage, and just crazy nonsense. But it was just a slap in the face. And then I remember like looking through his phone records and trying to figure out like what. And I'm like, I'm looking at the times and stuff. I'm like, he's texting this woman while we laying in the bed, like sleeping at night. Like he's on the phone with her. Like while I'm in the house. I mean, just like crazy stuff. And he wasn't just cheating with this. Like I went through everything, Facebook messages, everything, and saw that like he was trying to like get with one of the ladies. I was like, oh, he's a dog that like he works with. But there were so many numbers, like conversations, like on his phone. It was like, I mean, looking back, I'm like, oh, this could have been bill collector type people too. But like, it was like, it looks like a telemarketer, like phone log. It was so many, it like didn't make sense. There were like certain numbers like hers that I could pick out, like that, you know, it wasn't some kind of sequence, but it was like, okay, I see this number again and again and again and again. And there were like several numbers that like I wrote down like that. So I don't know how many women he was sleeping with. I don't know, but I'm like, that's why, you know, she won't okay. Like the whole time we were together, it was just like, it's painful. It was so much. And I was disgusted when I found out that he had been with like the whole city and probably a couple other ones. And I got out of that real quick and didn't look back. I ain't looked back since. So I was like, I didn't realize that when I filed for divorce and everything, I didn't realize that I was about to go into one of the like seemingly one of the darkest seasons I have been in. I think after my brother's passing, that was a dark time. Like, this is like fast forward a few years later, and it was a lot. It was a lot. And here, baby. And if I had known that like one decision was going to follow me and like, I don't know, set the tone for the next few years, the rest of my life, I'd have been like, ooh, yeah, no. So that was 2015 that we got married. We met in 2014, and then we got married. We met late 2014 and got married early 2015. And by October of 2015, I'd left. And so I just didn't know that I was gonna like spiral out into like it's just a dark season. It was a dark season where I feel like I was going through like depression. I was like, God, who? Because you told me to marry that man. He did not. And now I know that when you hear, ooh, here, bubba. Now I know that just because like you hear something doesn't mean that like it's God. And I learned that like then. But I went like years thinking that it was like it was a minute. I was like, I remember my mom being like, you know, you need to pray. And I was like, I don't want to pray. That was like my first time being like, yeah, I'm good. And I knew something was wrong then, because I was like, yeah, I won't pray. I was like, nah, actually I'm a little bit good on God right now, because I was feeling like he had orchestrated that mess. And now I know, I know, but I did, so went through that, and went through like a season of like depression. Wow, you're pooping on camera. All right. And of like self-doubt, and I like, I don't know why I did that either. Maybe I have to try this video. What's going on? Maybe I have to try to do it later, but I'm gonna do it, god doggone it. But so I just went through a dark season of like depression and self-doubt and like doubt in Jesus, and he met me right there in that dark time. And I believe in that season he brought me a friend, yeah, because I was not alone. And even though I had like friends at like different places, nobody was like here, you know. He blessed me with like a new church home, and that has blessed my life. And he just, you know, shout out Fusion. Ooh, ooh. he just helped me to see me again and to love me again and to get to know me again. He gave me purpose. He gave me a career. Yeah, girl. He put me on track. Like, he gave me vision. He reminded me of some things. It was just a dark season, but it turned out to be so beautiful. And so like 2015 was rough, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Like, the years were just hard. And I spent several years being single. Hey girl. Because I was like, yeah, no. And I was like afraid to date after that. I was scared. I was like, because when you date somebody, I didn't even think I got into it, but when you date somebody, so he cheated ultimately, was why we split for good. But before that, he was how do I say this? He was a terrible person. He was a terrible person. Like, and usually I'm just like, but he was. I spent a long time like not hating him. Maybe I did for a little bit. I was like, if he walk out and get hit by a car, if he find out he got every disease that's going to kill him and shrivel up and die the worst death possible, and it hurt and it pain and what have you, like, I ain't gonna wish it on him, but if it happened, I ain't gonna be sad. And looking back, I'm like, girl, you was hurt, girl. Yeah, definitely. Anyways, but he was just a terrible person. He was like great and amazing in front of everybody, and like when we got behind closed doors, he was like Satan. He was Satan. He was abusive, physically, verbally, emotionally. Like, he was real slick with stuff. Like, he would say stuff like, when men know that you're a beautiful woman and you're confident in who you are and who God called you to be, and they feel sometimes when they're weak, they feel threatened by that, right? By you knowing that you're worth. And they like say little things, do little things to just like hurt you, and just kind of, you know, like, oh, I guess it's like, let me say this so that she can think about it or start to believe it, and, you know, her self-esteem will go a little bit down. And I've never been like, but I mean, I was like, I'm a catch. I'm a good catch. I don't know if I ever said that, but like, I believed it, you know, and I believe it today. Like, I am an amazing woman, and I mean, I have insecurities just like everybody else, like next person, but I do believe in who I am, who God called me to be. And it took some years to get back, like, built back up, like, whole lot of Jesus, but I'm here. And so, yeah, so that happened. I married the devil. And looking back, I'm like, had I just taken like just a little bit more time, like just a little bit, like a few more months, like another year, I wasn't in such a rush to fix what I thought was the fix, on top of like the pressures of life. I've seen some things or two, because actually when we got engaged, like right when everything went down, yeah, it was just red flag after red flag after red flag. And then I remember the morning I was sitting there in my dress, my auntie was doing my hair and my makeup, and she was like, oh, you don't seem excited. And I remember I think my response was something like, I'm a little bit delayed sometimes emotionally. Like sometimes I'll be in the middle of something and it'll be like, oh my gosh, this is crazy amazing, but like I won't really like experience it or like feel it until like a little bit after. I know that sounds weird. I forgot there's a name for that, but I just put it on that and was like, that's what's happening right now, when really and truly I was ignoring that little still small voice that was saying, don't do it, do not do this. And I'm thinking, and I remember being like, God, all those people are outside, like they're already here, like I can't call this off. But they gonna think of me. If we could go back and undo time, I mean redo, I probably would not. Well, for many years I was like, I wouldn't have done that. I would not have done that. But now I'm like, no, I believe that if that had not happened, I would not be who I am today. I would not know God's like love. Like I would not know how he will go to, I also said the depths of hell, the pits of hell, but God will go to the dirt. He will go back for you. He will get real. God don't mind getting his hands dirty. And he goes back for us. And we think that I did this and I did that, God can't use me. God can use you and he can use that. And I remember when God like started calling me into acting and everything, I was like, God, I'm too old. Like I should have done that when I was busy getting murdered. And then I remember thinking God wasn't going to bless me with my man, with my husband, with the father of my children, with the man of my dreams. Like he wasn't going to bless me with him because I made that mistake. That's not how God is. But I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. And then like struggling financially for years and being single and enjoying my singlehood. Not even gonna lie, because I low-key was in hiding. Like I think I was like, oh, I'm just gonna hide you so nobody sees you so you can heal. And then I think he took me out of that and I was like, ooh, where the thing go? Because people see me again and I don't want to be seen. And he was like, it's time. And I was like, but it ain't though, because I ain't ready. But God knows when we're ready. Hey, you ready to get out? You ready to get out? She's ready to get out. So I'm gonna go change her diaper and probably try to wash this back and see if I like covered everything, because I don't know. I feel like I've been all over the place, but I may just post it anyways, and like it'll get to who it's supposed to get to. They'll get what they're supposed to get out of it. I don't know. I hope that this is good, as in I covered everything that I was supposed to cover. But I guess we'll find out later. Bye, Chulas.